Okay, so this is how the kits arrived the other day. It's these, I don't know if they're garment bags or what they are. They're zip-up bags. Never seen anything like it. They almost look like, you know, sort of like suitcases, but made out of fabric. Anyway, all these kits are packed in here. So we pull them out and we look at them. We'll take each one and we'll go through it, you know, to make sure it's complete and intact. We'll do research where necessary to find out what they're worth. And then we'll make an offer on it. That's how we roll with these things. So the person in question left these behind for us to inspect, check over. And we're making a database of stuff, and then we'll check it out. So what I wanted to do was kind of give you an idea of the process. So I get the models in, and as I say, we unpack them, we go through them, and I'm sharing what's in the box with you. You know, there's a lot of nostalgia in this box. Like there's the old MPC, you know, Airfix kits under license, and there's their old Revell kits. There's Novo kits. There's Frog kits. There's all kinds of, and Jack, there's vacuform kits. I can tell you, it's almost impossible to give away vacuform kits these days. So I really don't know what I would offer for such things anymore. But we'll go through it all and see what's here and assess. And there's an Air Model Seamaster in 72nd scale. You know, we'll go through, we'll have a look, and we'll make an offer. And then we'll get back to you in another short video or a reel and let you know if the offer was accepted or not. So right now, I'd just like to share what's in here, give you a little trip down nostalgia lane, as it were, because some of these kits are probably older than I am. Wow, I exaggerate. I'm pretty old, but you know what I mean. There's some pretty ancient stuff in here. Whoa, this one opens up a little differently. Okay. So taking a look through this one. This is kind of cool. We got, you know, a lot of bag kits in this one. Bagged Frog, bagged Airfix. You know, it's kind of a neat collection for nostalgia reasons, if that for nothing else. I mean, let's face it, most of these kits have been reissued in boxes. Frog kits have been reissued under other names like Nova. You know, I'm not seeing any holy grails in here. In fact, when it comes to aircraft models, they're always reinventing the wheel, so to speak. Every month it seems like there's a new Spitfire that surpasses every Spitfire that came before it. So these are old kits from, it would have been when I was a youngster. I remember as a teenager seeing these on the shelves. I mean, they're neat because of their original old box arts. But either most or if not all these kits are still available, or they've been superseded by much better kits. But it is a neat snapshot of, you know, you'd go into the hobby store, maybe even into some of the mass market stores. I remember buying bag kits in like those small department stores like Stedman's and that, and there'd be a turning rack and they'd be just covered with all these. And there'd be aircraft, and there'd be tanks, and there'd be ships, and there'd be figures. So, you know, well, that's just that's where Frog ended up back in the day. So quantity-wise, there's quite a few kits in here. A Novo, Gypsy Moth, a Blériot. And we got all kinds of World War I biplanes and things going on here. Buster Gladiator from Frog. Some of this stuff is so old, there was like tape on it, Scotch tape and that, and the Scotch tape is like actually starting to decompose, and it's sticky. And you got one that was kind of open and then thrown back into the bag and folded up. Well, that's kind of neat. The box art's nice. Old Buccaneer. Now, if you've been doing this a while, as I have, you remember the box art was the thing, right? You'd buy a kit based on the excitement that would be generated by this beautiful box art, and the box art is beautiful. These are very well rendered illustrations of these kits. And this really made you excited to buy it so you could create what was on the box art. Now, as many of you know, if you've been around, back in, I was going to say, the 1970s, maybe going into the 80s, model companies in the US had to put actual photographs of the real model on the box, as opposed to stunning artwork like this, because they felt, as a consumer protection, that having these gorgeously painted models on the box art did not give you a true indication of what you were buying. It's true, you can create something that looks like the box art, but there was no guarantee on that, and you certainly couldn't do it with just what came in the box. So this heralds back to the day when, like I say, the box art was the thing that made us excited about what was in the boxes. It's an old Heller. Of course, Heller is coming back again. There's possibly an original Handley Page 0400. People that know more about Airfix than I do, these red lines on the labels, have a specificity about when the kit came out, like whether it's a first edition or not. So that's 2 of the 6 packages we got in. Stay tuned as we go through more. There's an Austin Healey Sprite bag kit. We'll be right back with some more. Okay, moving right along. There's a little bit of Edward in here. And more Frog. Special Hobby. I mean, one thing I'll say about 72nd scale modelers, they tend to be completists. Because in 72nd scale, and especially back in the more affordable modeling days, you could build just about any aircraft, any and all aircraft, either ever made or for a particular country or conflict. I think that's the most modern kit I've seen in there. And they're classic. Remember having these back over several stores over several years. Another vowel. Pancake. And goose. Kits. Parts escaping from kits. Which one did it come out of? I don't know. That's another problem with these old vintage piles of kits. I think it was this one. Fingers crossed. Some of these bags, when we emptied them, we found various parts sitting in the bottoms of the bags, of course. Keep in mind, when we make offers to buy collections in the States and that's factored in. We know that on the average, we lose 10% of the kits we bought due to being started that we didn't catch or missing parts that becomes evident later. Or even the kit gets sold and we miss some small little part. And it turns out later it was missing. He's been in non-climate controlled spaces too. So I've got a little oofa smell going on. Bags. We got bags. And more bags. Ooh. I feel moisture in this bag. SIGA model. S-I-G-A. Don't know them too well. Lots of frogs in this one. That doesn't seem promising to me. molded resin with white metal parts. Oh my. Resin conversion kits for probably old models that are not that good to begin with. This is kind of neat. Box feels a little damp on that one. I mean, this stuff is cool, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly a nostalgia thing. I mean, especially in the day and age of 3D printing, I mean, a lot of this stuff is, how you say, passé? Oh my. And we got the whole rest of this bag. I'm not going to pull them out. I'll just show you. That's all vacuform kits in there. Now, I would have to think if one area of the industry has been put to rest by 3D printing, I would have to say it's vacuform kits. Do you build vacuform kits? Do you know anybody that builds vacuform kits? Leave your comments below. I'd love to know, honestly. I mean, back in the day when it was your only option for a lot of things, I mean, they had their place, they had their time, but I just can't even think of anybody that really wants these things anymore. But I could be wrong. I mean, I shouldn't let my own prejudice cloud things. So that, my friends, is all of it. So you basically saw what we saw. We researched anything we thought was old and gnarly looking. I won't lie to you, there's things like the vacuforms and that, you know, we offered very little, if anything, for it. It's just part of the whole bulk package. And again, as I say, it is not uncommon for us to have 10% of our kids. And I don't think people are trying to pull anything on us. I mean, if you buy a kit at a show or you buy it secondhand or somebody gives it to you, chances are you don't check it before you throw it on the shelf, and it could be started, it could be missing parts or whatever. But I found in my experience, most of the time, 10% of the kits are unsellable. Either they have started, missing parts, you know, some other malady that, you know, even if they're missing the decals. It's very hard to sell a kit without decals. You can sell it really cheap, but you can't get much for it because, you know, the price of decals nowadays, it's almost as much as the price of these kits would be. So that rules that out. We once bought a 4,000 car kit collection. And I swear to God, 10% of it, that means 400 kits where missing parts started, otherwise, you know, messed with. So that goes into so I'm just kind of telling you what goes through our mind when we look at this stuff and we make our offers. So we have presented the gentleman an offer. He wants to think about it on the weekend. So next week I will put a short on and tell you whether he accepted it or not. And after that, I'll tell you when they're available to buy. Thanks for watching, as always, and don't forget, your next great kit starts right here.